The president is going to swear in his 45 ministers today. There's been some reshuffling, but our spotlight will be on the FCT, where former governor of Rivers State has now emerged the FCT minister. And we also have the minister of state to the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmoud Bunkure. That the people will be concentrating on what is the expectations, what can they do, especially as the indigenes had for a very long time now been asking for an indigene that will be the FCT minister. We have in the studio as our guest Honorable Umar Makeri. He's the president FCT Youth Network. He'll be telling us what his expectations are of this new chunk of people. I mean, the Minister of State and the Minister of the FCT. So good to have you join us this morning.
Good morning.
Right. Thank you for joining us. Well, at this point, we will just go join a special report that was done on the Minister and Minister of State of the FCT. That report will roll out now, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Mr. Nyesom Wike is a Nigerian lawyer and a politician who was appointed Minister of State for Education on 14th July 2011. Wike was later appointed the Acting Minister of Education after Rukayya Ahmed Rufai, who was the substantive minister, was sacked. But Wike later resigned before finishing his term to campaign for Governor of Rivers State. He served as the Governor of Rivers State from 2015 to 2023. He was also a presidential aspirant under the People's Democratic Party in the run-up to the 2023 presidential elections. He, however, lost the party's ticket to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar after a tough presidential primaries of the party. He gained prominence in Nigerian politics due to his strong leadership skills, astute political tactics, and charismatic personality. Born on August 13, 1967, in Rume Purikom community of Rivers State, Wike's early life experiences and personal values have shaped him into the influential figure he is today. Known for his sharp wit, tactical and practical approach to governance, Wike has gained a reputation as a seasoned politician capable of maneuvering through complex political scenarios. His ability to connect with the masses, gain their trust, and motivate them towards achieving common goals has made him a formidable force in Nigerian politics. Wike is recognized for his unwavering commitment to the welfare of the people he represents. During his tenure as governor, he initiated and implemented various developmental projects that positively impact the lives of the residents of Rivers State. His focus on education, healthcare, infrastructure, and job creation has contributed immensely to the socio-economic growth of the state. No wonder he has been nicknamed Mr. Projects. Committed to the principles of inclusivity and justice, Wike has often championed the rights of the marginalized and the oppressed. He has been known to speak out courageously against perceived injustices, giving voice to the voiceless. His advocacy for social justice has earned him respect among his supporters as well as critics. As a leader, Wike is renowned for his strong-willed nature and assertiveness. He possesses a firm determination to ensure that his visions and aspirations for Rivers State come to fruition. Often regarded as a tough politician, Wike does not shy away from using necessary measures to achieve his goals and protect the interest of his constituents. Wike is an effective communicator and has a natural ability to connect with the people from all walks of life. He is renowned, for instance, for allowing his audience finish some of his sentences during public speeches. This is one powerful way he carries his audience along.
To be appearing like this, leave it, people like to hate people. The truth of the matter is that if you can't beat them, you join them.
His charismatic persona, coupled with eloquence in public speaking, allows him to rally the masses and garner support for his causes. He possesses excellent interpersonal skills, which make him easily approachable for dialogue and consultation. While Wike has faced some criticisms for alleged heavy-handedness and political maneuvers, his accomplishments as governor of Rivers State cannot be overlooked. He has proven his tenacity and leadership capabilities through his ability to withstand political pressure and guide his state towards progress. Little wonder, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man known for his penchant to spot and reach out to individuals with capabilities, broke down the walls of party, regional, and religious differences and appointed Mr. Nyesom Wike as the next minister of the FCT. Expectedly, since his name appeared on the list of ministerial nominees by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Mr. Nyesom Wike became a center of conversations. But on the day he appeared before the Senate for screening, it was clear that Mr. Nyesom Wike has cleared his political path long before his nomination by the president. Some stakeholders in the FCT have been speaking about the personality and leadership acumen of the man popularly known as Mr. Projects.
In fact, when I heard the name of Wike, I was most sincerely pleased, because as the man is being tagged Mr. Project, the first thing that comes to my mind, I say, this is beautiful. The man is coming to showcase his what he knows doing in his former state, which is Rivers State. He is coming down to FCT because the FCT is the seat of government. A lot is expected to be done and carried out by whoever is overseeing the FCT. So I believe that this is the right person, is a very to the right position.
Well, for those of us who have watched His Excellency Nyesom Wike from afar, we don't need to be told again of how resolute this man can be. And having watched his antecedents as the governor of Rivers State in the last 8 years, and not just watching him, okay, but also following his actions and activities in the state, we have seen someone who is a workaholic, very rugged, very, very hardworking. All right, no wonder he became what the popular saying is Mr. Project, or else there are governors, but even among the governors there are also governors, and I think he excelled in that part. So for us who have watched him from very far, I think nothing can we say other than to say, here comes another bulldozer, right? If we used to have past ministers, okay, having been assessed in their own way, everyone does the little he could and, gave his way. I think the FCT people, once again, have come to terms now with the reality of Mr. Project also. And I think he is going to demonstrate that in the Federal Capital Territory. All of us are happy. We are proud that, once again, right, that someone in the person of Wike is coming to change certain things that is, bothering the Federal Capital Territory.
FCT residents are also not left behind. Those who spoke to our crew also have quite remarkable things to say about the 17th minister of the nation's capital.
Wow, I was one of the best Nigeria that's so happy about the appointment of Wike.
Wow.
King of boys, the man that sabi all area. When he was a during Minister of Education, he performed a 65%, and he was the governor for 8 years. He was there performed. He's one of the best governors so far in Nigeria, and I believe that Wike is not just somebody that they can just papa. He's a man of decision. He's a man that say when he say yes, it's yes. When he say good night, it's good night. I know Wike is going to perform like El-Rufai.
Well, since he's now the new minister, we hope to see him
to perform. Actually, like what we saw him doing in Rivers State, well, we pray and hope he will also, replicate that same issue here in Abuja.
I think they got it right. Wike is someone that I know that will deliver. At least from what you have done in Rivers State. I'm happy that he's a minister, Sha. I didn't know he was until you informed me. So I'm happy he's the minister of FCT. At least he will put so many things in place. You can see a lot of things going wrong. I remember when Erifai was there are so many things that was in place. I believe Wike will do good.
The former governor of Rivers State, right? Yes, Nelson Wike, he's a very good politician. I like the way he plays his politics, but along the line, he decided to play anti-party. But I still like him because he has the quality of a good person in him.
Now that Mr. Nyesom Wike is taking over the reins of the FCT administration, stakeholders also have some areas of priority they would want him to pay attention to.
What the entire resident and natives of the FCT would be expecting the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Mr. Wike, to embark upon as a priority one, there's infrastructure deficit. He should be able to look at around. I'm sure by now he must have been studying the entire 8,000 square kilometer of the entire FCT, or thereabout. And two, you should be able to consider, give priority to health, give priority to the area councils. That is, the 6 area councils that we have currently in the FCT. You should be able to redesign, come up with a kind of open system of administration where you can get down to the people, ask of their needs and wants, and we expect it to swing into action. At the same time, and most importantly, is the traditional institution, where I know best, what I know, and how to go about it as the immediate, so to say, commissioner or secretary in charge of the area councils and chieftaincy matters. I will, or the FCT people will expect that you have a very sound course to move the traditional institution, I speak, because they are closer to the people, they are the custodian of our common heritage. So we expect him to do that, and by and large, in terms of security, the FCT will expect a lot from him, that so as FCT has been living peacefully, but at the same time, there are pockets of cases of kidnapping, cases of, people cannot go to bed with their 2 eyes closed. So being somebody who is a 2-term governor and he has administered his state very, very well, you can give it to nobody will ever say that the man called Wike has not done so much in the state and even in the nation, because everybody knows him of his doggedness. Whatever he means and he says he was going to do, I'm sure he's going to do it and do it better.
I think he may also have in mind that FCT, just like also a ministry, but it's a ministry with a difference, because here you are leading people also. Unlike ministries where you are only dealing with parastatals, but in FCT is like a semi-state wherein you lead the people, you also administer citizens. And therefore, one of the things he should concentrate, of course, is in the area of infrastructure. This infrastructure cut across the city infrastructure and the suburb. We have the 6 area councils. There are areas where the minister, of course, is supposed to also pay attention to. And in this regard, not just paying attention to the city infrastructure, but of course supporting the area councils with infrastructure in the suburb, from Abaji down to Buhari, all right, Kuje, Gwagwalada, Kwali, Abuja Municipal Council. There are localities that will need the complementary effort of FCT administration, because the area councils may not have it as it would have been, possible for them to, really meet up with the challenges in the area council. If the FCT the minister now in Wike, settles down, I think as far as infrastructure is concerned, he should not just concentrate on city infrastructure, but should also emphasize on opening up the localities so that people can even, find comfort if they wish to stay outside the federal capital city. Because what is also sending people from the locality is infrastructure. If there are no good roads, no electricity, no potable water, and what have you. And like I said, the area councils cannot be able to handle it because in view of their limited resources. So if we have complementation from the FCT administration, I think it will also go a long way. So apart from this infrastructure, right, which cut across road, health facilities, education, and what have you, the people are also important to be looked into, their welfare and what have you, because just like I said, FCT happens to be like a semi-state, wherein you have the traditional institution and their subjects cut across the localities, where you also have other Nigerians who are also living there. I think everything that has to do with their welfare, okay, the minister should put in a template of how to also address some of these issues. More so now that we are, living from hands to mouth, where the economy is biting very hard. I think palliative, effort should also, be an issue that the minister should also pay attention to it.
As the saying goes, voice of the people is the voice of God. As the minister settles into his new onerous national duty, we are all united in wishing him well for the good of the FCT in particular and Nigeria at large.
Dr. Maria Mahmoud Bunkuri, who will be the FCT's next Minister of State, is a highly accomplished medical professional. She is a consultant in family medicine and has over 20 years of experience in the field. She is also a member of the National Postgraduate Medical College and the West African College of Physicians. In addition to her medical practice, Dr. Bunkuri is also an active public servant who has served in various capacities where she gained a lot of experience and left behind sterling legacies. She was appointed as the Commissioner for Higher Education, Kano State, and served as member Kano State Executive Council from November 2019 to May 2023 by former Governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Dr. Maria also made her mark in the political arena when she served as member Kano State Presidential and Gubernatorial Campaign Council in 2022 to 2023, where she was instrumental in organizing grassroots support for the All Progressive Congress. Dr. Bunkuri is a strong advocate for women's empowerment and education, who is a member of several women's organizations and has spoken out on the importance of education for girls and women. She was born in Bunkuri local government area of Kano State in January 15, 1978 and attended Bunkuri Gari Primary School. She later attended GGASS Tudunwadan Dankadi for her junior secondary school education and the Girls Science College Garku. Subsequently, she went to college for remedial studies where she did her IJMB in 1996. In 1997, she got admission to study medicine at Bayero University, Kano. Later, she furthered her education to become a consultant in family medicine at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Kano. Dr. Bunkuri was announced on 4th of August 2023 at the Senate plenary as a ministerial nominee to serve in the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The medical doctor will become the second woman from northern Nigeria's most populous state to be a minister since 1999. The last female minister from Kano State was Hajia Aisha Ismail, appointed in 1999 by former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Welcome back. If you're still joining us, the program is ASO Morning, and then before the break, we were, the interview is FCT new ministers. We have a Minister of State and, of course, the main minister, which is Nelson Wike. What are the expectations and deliverable? We just played a small documentary reeling out their rich CV. Of course, the current FCT minister does not need any introduction, especially when you put into cognizance all that he did in Rivers State. And discussing today with us is Umar Makeri. He's the president, FCT Youth Network. Once more, many thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Let's start by saying I think some residents of the FCT were kind of disappointed when it was Wike that was nominated as the FCT minister, despite his rich portfolio. There were people clamoring that maybe Gisalo will be made the FCT minister, but unfortunately we didn't see that happening. He's now Minister of Special Duties. So for the first time, yes, an indigene of the FCT is on the Federal Executive Council. But let's look at the giant Wike now being in the Ministry of, the Minister of the FCT. What do you think he will be bringing to the table that will be different from the previous ministers that the FCT has had?
Good morning once again. I remain my humble self, Ibrahim Umar Makeri, the President FCT Youth Network. Let me start by thanking the ASO TV for inviting the Youth Network to come and show light on the issue of FCT Minister. First and foremost, we thank God that our brother, our father today has been appointed as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Having said that, it is indeed a misconception if the native of FCT decided to say they want Gisalo to be FCT Minister, even though sometimes we are crying for issue of marginalization, and today we have been given a voice in the Federal Executive Council. Of course, we should thank God for Gisalo to be a Minister of Special Duty. Yes. Now, if you come back to FCT Minister, Barrister Nelson Wike and the Minister of State, we all know in Nigeria, the assistant of Mr. Wike, everybody believed he's a man of his ways, and he doesn't make policies until he's ready to implement that particular policies. I have done that severally in several political office holder, especially when he was the chairman in the local government in River State then. He became the Minister of Education before he ran for the office of the governor. And during his service, 2 times governorship in the River State, Nigerians know that he's someone who has believed in serving humanity. You know, leadership is all about adding value to the society. And next week, he have actually shown his capacity as a leader, and he's ready to deliver the dividends of democracy then to the people of River State.
So the question is, what do you think he will be bringing to the table that will be different? Of course, every ministerial appointee, we want to believe that they have a certain kind of competence.
Of course.
But we want to say, okay, yeah, they're swearing them in today. We've been waiting for the ministers to come on board, and now we have one. What do we expect to see that Wike would do differently? He's called Mr. Project, and then I don't think Abuja is all about projects. I know that we've successfully had a lot of good roads and, you know, certain infrastructures, but when you're looking at the rural areas, just beyond the Maitama, the Asokoro, the Wuse too, what do we expect that will reflect on the 6 area councils to Buari, to Amak, to Abaji? You know, those rural places that will feel the effects of the FCT minister. What do you think he should bring?
Number one, we are expecting that there will be a little difference, especially issue of security.
Okay.
Having come from the rural areas, where, you know, the terrain is not that funny, especially the Abaji area councils, places like Alumamagi and Pandaki are very interior area. And they come down to go to the area council, have places like Wumi, Tsauni and Dadabili, who are very in interior area too. But if you look at the city center, Asokoro, Gwarimpa, these are places that have security network.
Yes.
We believe that Wike, having been a grassroots politicians, who, of course, by now we believe that he might have asked or studied the political zone of FCT, and he should be able to know where there are lapses of security aspect, because where there's security, of course, there will never be where there is insecurity, yes, there will never be a meaningful development. Now, the city center have developed to our own understanding, but we believe the development should go to rural area at this particular point in time. And somebody like Mr. Project, who have the aims and objective to pass the dividends of democracy to people and the grassroots, we believe in his leadership, and he's going to change so many things, especially issue of kidnapping, banditry, and a form of where insecurity always generates for services delivered in the federal capital territory.
Okay.
Okay.
And again, we are as a native of FCT, we are also believing on him that where the communities are to be relocated, we are asking the government of the day, especially that of Wuke, who have people in mind, that they should integrate our people into the system instead of resettlement.
Okay. That has been a major issue for the indigents.
Yeah.
So how do you think you should go about it? Because I know that every time they do relocation, they always give your indigents compensation. So are you saying that you don't want that compensation, that, well, we should rechannel it to a different kind of compensation? Because I know that with the FCT ministers thus far, when they take land, mostly for development, we've had one of our guests here who has come and said, yes, they do take and they do give, but it's not commensurate to international best practices of what the compensation. So what do you think he should be doing different?
Well, in that aspect, Barrister Nelson Wike is a lawyer, and he knows the law guiding issue of compensation. What we are saying is that it's not as if the native of the FCT are against development in any land, but there should be adequate compensation, because the compensation they are giving to our people is not adequately, and you find out that a 3 or 4 hectares of land is taken away from an individual, and what they are giving is not up to 20,000-30,000 naira. You can imagine somebody who has a family and maybe have children who are schooling to become something tomorrow, and is giving a 50,000 or 100,000 for a particular hectares of land, and the land is taken completely from that person. He will never come back to that land again, and he will not have anything to do with the land in terms of benefit or things. So we are saying that there should be adequate compensation, and having served as a barrister, he knows the law that guides that particular aspect.
You wanted to say something?
Oh, my turn. You are in the youth constituency, and I don't know, the FCT also enjoys a very vibrant youth constituency where you have very intelligent and professional youth. How have you in the past engaged administrations, and what are you planning for this administration? Do you have a vibrant plan, structure, framework to engage this Wike when he emerges, so that those little crops of problems within your sector would be achieved?
Yeah, first and foremost, the FCT Youth Network, it is a group of people who sat down and say it's better we form a union, a plight where we can say this is what we want and this is the way we want the government to do. First and foremost, we decided to say that youth are mostly used as instrument of destructions, whereas youth are supposed to be the leader of tomorrow.
Exactly.
And having said that, in the FCT per se, we believe that instead of us be used as instrument of protest and destruction, when there is protest, militants come up on board, criminals and all of this. The youth of FCT have decided to say we are peace-loving people across the indigenous tribes, and the city center of Nigeria is started here in Abuja. As such, we will not allow anybody somewhere to cause any confusion, including the residents, because as I earlier says, where there is no peace, actually there will never be a meaningful development.
Exactly.
And even the government, if the government has a project in a particular area that he wants to deliver to the people, and he found out that there's insecurity in that particular area, automatically the project will not be taking place. And even if it takes place, it will not be as the government would want it. So the FCT Youth Network, we are a body who advise the government, especially the political office holders, because we are spread across the 858 communities. We have coordinators in 62 political ward, and we have area council representatives too. Myself, my humble self inclusive, we always have a meeting at the remote end to make sure where we are what we are lacking, and immediately if we discover issues that we support to liaise with the government, we move straight to the local government and the House of Representatives, the Abuja South and Abuja North, and indeed the Senate representing the Federal Capital Territory to look away how do we solve a particular issues. And again, we're also using our traditional custodians who are the rulers of our various communities to make sure that the youth in that particular community come together to share common ideas to allow peace to reign in the Federal Capital Territory.
Okay. Now, when you achieve this, because a lot of Nigerians are asking, and Nyesom Wike has always been one who is passionate about what he does. But what is your engagement with the Minister of State as well? We keep talking about the major minister. When you achieve all of this, where does the Minister of State fall in line in all this?
Well, I believe that the Minister of State and that of the Senior Minister, they are working together. Their aim is to have a successful government and deliver the dividend of democracy to the people.
Absolutely.
So I don't think there is anything I can say special so different to that. But I believe just to relinquish some power down to the Minister of State, and the Minister will take it down to the area council for fast implementation.
Okay. When you talk about the dissolution of power, I find that word very interesting. Now, Nyesom Wike was the governor for Rivers State for 8 years, and he principally or basically wasn't taking instructions from anybody. And he was a sheriff in town, so he could do as he pleased when he pleased. And then we saw some draconian instances, especially during the COVID, where people thought that, you know, he was an extremist and doing things in an extreme way, or where people, of course, commended him for taking decisive actions that nobody had the willpower to take at that or within the 8 years of being the governor of Rivers State. Now, he's going to be working under the president. He's not giving instructions. He's not calling the shots. And we want to take into cognizance Wike's personality. Wike is a strong-willed person. Wike is actually used to be one of my favorite governors. I'm hoping he will still remain one of my favorite ministers now. But when you take his into cognizance, his body language, his forcefulness of getting things done, do you think that this may hinder or help enhance his productivity in Abuja, bearing in mind that what he's as effective as the body language he gets from the presidency? Do you think this could kind of be a bad thing for him?
Well, as I always say, there are two issues here.
Okay.
He was elected as a governor and now appointed as a minister. And again, I say he's a lawyer, and from all his antecedents, I listened to one of his speech. He says anywhere he's commissioned a project, he will tell you go and verify it, and to tell you that whatever he's doing within the amble of law. So he is not going to say anything different outside the government agenda or the law guiding a particular organization. Now he's going to work under President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and we believe it's not as if the president is going to instruct him to do a certain thing that is going to be wrong to the people. But I believe he's going to work directly with the FCT administration. So as such, at the end of the day, he will absolutely never do something wrong or different from that of the president. But he's expected to deliver a certain dividend to the people, because for President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to have nominated him as the FCT minister, he believed he's going to deliver. This is someone who also seek to be elected as the president of this country. Now that he's given the chance to govern under the FCT administration, we believe that both the civil servant and the residents and the non-indigenous, including the indigenous entire FCT, are going to feel his impact as the minister of the federal.
Okay, what would you say to those who think that Nelson Wike's appointment was a political favor, especially when you take into cognizance the way the elections went in Rivers State in February, and how it is perceived that there was some anti-party going on. He's still a PDP card-carrying member, serving now under the APC administration. Of course, he's not the first person that has worked or served outside and it shows good faith in democracy, where you can say you bring, different political parties, different ideologies to the table with the sole essence of building the nation. But it's a twofold question. Do you think that there's enough loyalty, i.e. to his political platform, to his political party rather, that gave him that platform to be the governor of Rivers State for 8 years under PDP, and now he's seeing, of course, last week we had pictures with Ganduje, which is the APC chairman. So do you think that political dance could also be termed as a disloyalty to people that had given him that platform to go there, and a political patronage or settlement, as some people use the word, by the president?
Well, that should leave for the political parties. But as far as I'm concerned, we're talking about governance. And the governance, when you talk about governance, elected position, for example, the party is used as an instrument, or maybe a machine we are moving, a vehicle where to reach where you are going. Now that should be left to politicians alone. But in my own perspective, I believe it's about governance. Once you are elected or appointed, as long as political is concerned, you have to deliver a service to the people.
Exactly.
Now, Wike have come on board, even though we watch during campaign process, there was a lot of drama. Sometimes he had a meeting with the president then, that is Mr. Ahmed Tinubu in London or thereabout. Now, today, he happened to be appointed from that of the PDP, now serving under the APC government. I believed it's because he worked tirelessly during his service as the governor, and the president have seen him someone who can actually deliver the dividend of democracy. During his interview or screening at the National Assembly, he made mention that there are ministers who of course they still want to be a minister, and there are governors who want to also be a governor. It's not about being a minister again, or being a governor, or being a senator. It's about service to the people. So I believed that we should put party sentiment aside and come back to look at who will deliver, how do you serve people, what is their need, how do you reach them. Now, having said that, even though previously, if you look at the political antecedents, you discover that once you are not belong to this political party, you are not able. You may have the idea, but people will not bring you in. Obviously, the man at the end of the affair will not allow you to come in because you are not belonging to the party. But we are also, I believe, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who was also a senator and one time a governor of Lagos State, have the idea that it's better I bring Mr. A, Mr. C from other political party to join so that we can have a unity government where actually we are going to deliver a successful dividend to the people.
Okay, we're running out of time. But what would be your takeaway? What would be your advice to the after his swearing in? So the few hours we have an official minister, and there are so many things that have been delayed since May 29th when the president was sworn in. We've been saying and we're crying. Okay, now once the ministers have come in, things will happen. We don't know whether we're going to see a Wike running, a Wike standing, or a Wike just, what's he going to hit the ground doing? So what would be your advice to this administration? Then we call it a wrap on that note.
Well, my advice will come from the angle of the youth generally. We must be patient, because today, if you look at the situation in the country, things is no longer funny. It's just happening because we have been living in an extravagant life. We have to adjust to so many issues, especially our home, our education aspect, even the health, and all of that. Particularly to our boss, who's happened to be the FCT minister, Barrister Nelson Wike, to at least be patient with the people of FCT, because I know as he's coming, there are so many challenges ahead of him. He may see this angle different from that of the elected governor, because when you're an elected governor, there's certain power, you control it within your administration. But now he's going to take instructions or advice from also the president of the country. And again, the native, we have been clamoring marginalization. I will use it as a plus that today we have been, one of us have been appointed as a minister in the Federal Executive Council, and we will continue to solicit and appeal to the government to also, with time, maybe get one of us to be additional Senate in the National Assembly and the House of Representatives, right, and all of that, so that the political arena can be balanced with other states.
Honorable Umar Makeri, thank you so much for being part of the program. Unfortunately, we'll run out of time, and this is where we'll end the program today.
No problem.
Right. Thank you so much for being with us. And that's how we wrap up ASO Morning. We're standing by to join in and see the ministerial swearing in. But we'll wrap up this segment and say thank you so much for being part of our morning. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow again. I'm Ifanaya Yvonne Amafili.
And I am Joy Asanye. Thank you so much for being part of the program, and I hope you have a productive day.